Okay, so we're talking about guarding your heart with all diligence. Okay, so a boy sees his mom as the first representation of a woman, the first woman he loves, and that loves him. Okay, so he's gonna see how she loves him is how he's gonna take into view how love is given. So he doesn't recognize love at first. Like he sees love as how she loved him, and then he loves her. So that's why I believe in the Bible it tells the man to leave his mother and cleave to his wife, meaning leave behind everything she taught you, every single thing, because it's not he has to learn on his own what that true love is. So or the healthy state of what love is.
Reciprocating, taking and giving, like accepting love and giving love. It's gonna be two different things because it's not his mother, so he has to love her a different way. He has to love her sensually, sexually, okay, and he has to accept love from her
The way
as
she
different.
loves, which is,
And they learn together as taught.
yeah, but they
'Cause
give
have
up.
they have to give back what they.
People give up too easy. Let me have that. People give up too easy. They don't want to put in the work
Yeah.
for the lasting relationship. Okay. So keeping bad company.
Like I asked you, protect your heart from all diligence,
With all diligence.
because out of it flows the circumstances of life. Okay. So if you have bad, if you have things that happen to you, if you let it, meaning precept for precept, taking things line for line, meaning whatever situation, whatever happens in a circumstance or situation, you don't bring that into your next one. You're supposed to just learn from it and leave it there. And you don't bring it to your next thing because it could, like a judge, if he has
a case.
If you hear something about you or
He has a preconceived idea of
that
you already.
exactly. That's just okay. That's why that's like that. You can't do that. You can't.
Which is why Solomon was the wisest man.
But if
Because
you
he knew
bring
these
if you
things.
bring into your next relationship, let's say you got screwed on your last business deal. If you bring into your if you bring that into your next business deal, you ain't gonna be as trustworthy to the person.
Yeah.
You might get screwed. Okay, you're supposed to learn from what you learned from the past one.
But not take the issue.
Right. Don't bring it. Right.
Because you'll preconceive that as something from the past, and then you'll have an issue with that person, and there is never meant to be an issue.
And that's by being prejudiced too. Just because another man screwed you before doesn't mean this man will.
Right.
But if you protect yourself,
that goes now. Then, but if you're not protect, if you guard it, because a guard isn't a guard lets in what's only what's necessary.
Yeah.
So if you if you know the true definition of a guard, what does he do? He guards it. An intruder he doesn't let in, and he's able to discern it. So who's our guard? It's the Holy Spirit.
Father.
So the Spirit of truth leads us into all truth, which brings us to where we are now. And so let's go to the girl who her dad shows her love, and our men around her show her love, and it's the same thing. She's going to see love done a certain way, and she's going to love a certain way, or that she thinks is right or wrong. So growing up, come into full maturity, as Paul says, when we come to maturity and we start eating solid food, which means we've come to a place where we're expected now to say, okay, with all the knowledge of God and wisdom that we think we have, which we absolutely know nothing. Every single day you wake up, you learn something new about God. It's like being mature enough to say, look, I'm learning just like you're learning. And I'm today going to choose to love you. And you loving me would accept the fact that I'm bringing things to your attention, right? And vice versa. And paying attention to the things that I say and vice versa, communicating with each other.
But that's why it's easier said than done, because lovers, it's hard. You say armor bearer?
Yeah.
You know how you can take, what you call that? Constructive criticism. You can hear a certain type of way from a certain individual other than me.
Mm-hmm. Because at times, if somebody feels as though, okay, if you with me 24 hours a day, so of course you're going to tell me what I do wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like we
That's
notice
why it's hard to go through things.
But
sometimes.
it's not. But it's as hard as we're going to make it, because it not necessarily.
It's all in my wording, I guess. That's what I have trouble with. I have trouble something that.
You're just saying it, but it's how you're saying it. Yeah, and I say that all the time, but I'm not trying to explain.
It's me to say that or not either.
Some things you better left just said to God. God tells you how to talk, but it's getting to the maturity of stop letting our emotions override wisdom. Okay, because the wisdom that we both have. We're not in a place where emotions just overtake us and we blah, 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 and then we have another issue now because we're continuing to tear each other down instead of building something up. Okay. So love is able to do the impossible. Jesus chose the cross because of the love of God. He chose to endure the things that he endured because he chose the love of God over the love that people had. And when I learned of the love that he had, it was so overwhelming to know that a person can, his love's like, it's not comprehensible to the mind. It's something beyond what the human mind can understand, grasp, or perceive. So I don't try to. I just embrace it and I accept it. But without doing that, we could never love like he loved. It's like to know that he would go to the extent that he goes and to through the things that he does, it baffled me. And it's like, I think I catch myself thinking everyone does that, maybe, and because you hear people say, well, they didn't love as much as I loved, or, well, how did you measure that? Like, how did you even know? You just didn't understand their way of giving the love to you. That you don't know that, people don't understand why I got with you and I got with you when you were at the bottom. Okay. That's not something first of all, it's none of their business. But secondly, it's like, well, how does it matter? Does it really? So what, you're supposed to just not have ever a wife again, or you're supposed to just be tossed aside? But taking the challenge on is something too. Not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody wants to take the challenge of me.
Then that's
So
why
that's why
not
it's
everyone's
not
going to come with me where I'm going.
right. And not everybody's going to come with me, because I know what it takes to love me. It's a lot. I know what it takes to get me to do certain things, and it's a lot. It's always a lot. It cost Jesus his life. And I owe it to him to love him first. And with all that I am, all my heart, soul, mind, body, spirit, I owe that to him. And as long as I keep that in him, I won't have an issue. I can love healthy. I can love myself. I can love you. I can love my children. I can love the world in its own proper precept, line upon line, its own proper place. And that's how we
Yeah,
learn.
certain type of love.
It's an expression. It's in the expression of how we give. It's in the actions of it, because love is action. So that's what we're learning. In our life. And I think that that's something that we learn continually. But I think that it has the place of maturity. And if I was to talk to younger kids, younger youth,
stuff falls off. That's not.
This is something that really should be taught, because they need to know this before they get into things, with others. So
yeah, it's choosing to when you pick someone, for your wife, it's choosing. This person's flaws by now, and it's bringing yourself to accept them, not saying you can change them. I seen what little things that I didn't know you had, but I figured it's nothing to battle on with. I took it on with you.
Right,
I didn't
just think
try to change
we're older,
you about it.
So we have more issues,
But I'm mature, so I see it as, what's these things can I go through life with her? I took it on with you, not forcing to. I was going to change you. I accepted you the way you are, and if any way we change as the years go by, it's gonna get bigger and better. I don't believe it's gonna get worse.
Right.
Because a lot of our problems we have, it's outside. It's manifest from the inside, right? It's
of course.
And
it's a reflection of your own heart.
And certain things get healed as you
go. Yeah, because that's what we're doing. We're walking through a journey of healing with each other. We're walking through things of years and years and years of, because God wants us to be healed and whole, not just, Band-Aid.
Yeah, right.
And I have a lot of wounds that they've been healed wrong. So in order for me to be able to fully function out of a pure motive and a pure heart, it's a self-examination every day, and doing things to cover up these things that are surfacing. It's not going to get us anywhere. God's going to keep us where we are until we get that right, especially when he's entrusted talents and things into our hands.
And it's the little things. If we could, it's how we handle the little things in life, and he's gonna give us responsibility with greater things.
All right, because great people do small things with excellence, little things. So to do great things with God, you're really put in the wine press.
Yeah, because if we represent him, he's not going to send us somewhere and we have meltdowns.
Exactly. Or have it in front of people. All right, well, this is to be continued.